What's going on, everyone? This is your boy AshTheMan, and thank you so much for tuning in. So we are here to talk about ID Invaded discussion video, and in this video we're going to be talking about who is John Walker. Now, before I definitely jump into this video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit that notification button, because this definitely does help me out very much, and I would definitely appreciate you guys definitely doing so. You get all my upload notifications anytime I do a review, a discussion, live stream, or maybe just do Ash Corner Talk. But nevertheless, let's definitely jump into this video. Now, who is John Walker? John Walker is supposed to be the main antagonist of ID Invaded. He's mysterious, like really mysterious. Like they really have him being like this figure that they really don't know much about. And I think in his recent episode 6, which I will leave a link in the description for you, he really does stand out. Now, the reason he stands out so much in the series for me is because let's just talk about his figure. Like, he pretty much comes in here dressed with a top hat, face is blurred out, of course. He has a wannabe cane or whatever. Just like how in the first episode Sakaido had bits and pieces that wasn't there. It's always the same for John Walker. He has bits and pieces of his body being missed, but he wears he wears a suit, burgundy top and white bottom. It shows that he has like one leg at a time with a boot. So yeah, that's pretty much John Walker. Now, John Walker is supposedly like the villain that murdered his family or whatever. I mean, at the same time, I just want to throw in there that I think his wife actually did a suicide. I think his daughter, well, actually it was confirmed that his daughter got brutally murdered by John Walker. That's what is supposed to be the theme behind him really going after these criminals, and the whole reason for Sakaido being as cold as he is and convincing murderers to suicide in jail. Maybe that has a lot to do with it. But nevertheless, John Walker definitely rose some attentions in episode 6, being that the organization kind of threw an idea into there that one of them or someone in the brass can be the identity of John Walker. Now, one of the officers, she kind of threw it out the window, well, you can't really explain that without evidence. And I mean, not saying that kind of focused her on there, because she really hasn't been seen as a main figure in this story so far. But nevertheless, it doesn't rule out the possibility. And the possibility that it could be someone in the organization would make sense of why he's always a step ahead, the reason why they can't see his face, and the reason why he knows what villains to target and how to go about it. Now, there is a couple possibilities that I feel very strongly about who it can be. And I just want to go over them briefly. Like Hadamochi, I think that she's a high possibility because when the series first started, she does have some type of little bit of a deception with how good that Sakaido has it for going in the ID well. She thinks that he's the lucky one for doing so. She finally got a drill in her head. She was able to, stab somebody, kill him. And seeing that, how she was able to dissect the murder and figure out who it was, made it perfectly. And even her picking them out from the picture, she focused on that one person, who could it be? And she took the person who, out of all of the people in that picture, the least person that you thought it was, and come out it was her. So she definitely meets some type of requirements in that. Now, her partner, he may just be John Walker also, and this is the reason why. It's because he sort of have bad intentions towards Sakaido. For some reason he does. It's due to the history. Maybe it's the way that Sakaido started carrying himself after his family happened. He know that it's because of that the reason why the things that he are doing, but he just really doesn't have or is on good terms with him. But it just also other things it is too. Every time something has happened, it always have Mochi being in danger. He's not around whenever she's in danger. Even when he went in the other room to go make a call or whatever, she had already figured out, put the gun to the head, and he just comes in okay, what's going on? He would just unaware of it, and usually he doesn't give off that kind of emotions whenever he's dealing with something. He usually have a like a calm and firm idea about it. And it's kind of weird that even though he got stabbed, you didn't see any blood, but he had a cast on. And I mean, yeah, you get stabbed, blood is not going to pour out like that, but at least you should have saw some traces of it getting impaled, and it didn't. So I'm not sure if that was intentional, but we're going to just say that does add some type of suspicion to it. And I ain't gonna lie, the head of the brass, the old guy, he could be John Walker. I mean, he can orchestrate this just because of the fact that maybe it could have been like a potential, money grab, or he probably just like to see people go through certain things, or it could just be a psychotic fool. We don't know, but his mysterious things to the way he do stuff definitely comes questionable. And that's the reason why I think he plays a part in this. And outside of that, it's not really too many people I can consider being John Walker. And yeah, you're going to be like, well, John Walker shows a figure of a man. That's what we can be trained to be seeing. Like, if you think about it, how people like faces and stuff changes in the ideal world depending on the world that you're in. John Walker could be altered to be a guy to throw him off the trail. That's real easy. Now, another thing is that with John Walker is able to plant cameras and mics all around the house. And this is the thing that gets me about that. He is able to do all of that and not being able to be seen, not able to be tracked. So it kind of really narrows it back that it could be somebody within their organization. That could be John Walker. Like how he's able to put cameras and mics around somebody's house to witness them commit murders and just watching and no traces. Like it has to be a little bit more than that. And that, it really does come in this factor that this is something he be doing. And anybody that they question and even try to give out the John Walker's name, they don't know who he is. And that could be a thing. He probably don't have a physical interaction. He probably, go into their subconscious on more of a deeper level to where he can alter their experience. He could drive fear into them. He could make things seem out of whack to get them to be murderers. And John Walker, if he's definitely doing this, and it's definitely something that's very interesting. But just the reason why I say that is because in the episode they did clarify that the engineering for the ID well, he basically went missing. He disappeared, and they don't have any tracks or where to find this guy. So that makes a big suspicion, not just only of who could be John Walker, but it does raise suspicion that it could be somebody within the organization. And there's two reasons why. One, if it is someone that's not the engineer, they could be having the engineer at a different location, keeping maintenance on the ID well, and they could be partnered up and have the alternated John Walker being a representation of their horrific act. So that could be one thing. Or it could be that, as the engineer building the ID well, he becomes very, psycho-ish and pretty much create this alternation of John Walker to commit murders. And he has another one that's built that has a deeper functionality than what they ID well can do. So it is definitely different possibilities on the John Walker thing, but the mysterious things around her really gets you engaging, especially with Sakaido making him his, all-time prime, thing to go after. And I think that the whole organization at this point is really starting to really focus on him. So with John Walker definitely being this factor, we can never really disengage him, because if he was definitely in the ID well of the Gravedigger, being in the forges watching, and then he has to have access to the same similar system that they use to being able to do so. So things can start to get more cornered on. And I will say this, as more the episode go on, because I'm not sure if they ever going to bring John Walker by episode 12 or not, because I would definitely like to see more season of this, maybe have a transition to where he gets more involved and keep him on a cliffhanger, because they definitely got something going here. We don't know. But definitely, in the next few episodes, the way that John Walker, kind of like revealed herself, I'll come back and do another discussion video. You got my word on it. But other than that, I want to thank you guys for definitely tuning in. Leave a comment at the bottom. I mean, let me know your ideas of John Walker, because I would definitely love to see what everybody thinks about him, like how as an antagonist and mysterious things that evolves around him, of things going on, or what the possibility of who it could be or what it could be. Just let me know. Other than that, I just want to thank you guys for definitely tuning in. You guys have a wonderful one.